Hello Potter fans. So this morning we've got something really exciting, literally just arrived through the post about 20 minutes ago, is Night Model's new Harry Potter miniature adventure game, Chamber of Secrets Chronicle box. I'm going to crack the box open and we'll take a look at the contents. So the first thing we're going to note with this is Night Models have finally done away with the tin boxes that they've sent a lot of the other Harry Potter adventure game models and sets in. It comes in this rather nifty two-fold cardboard box, not particularly heavy duty, there's a bit of damage around the corners from postage, but it's here. It comes with a plastic tray insert, again slightly damaged on the corner, but hey ho, shouldn't affect gaming quality. So inside this box we have, we'll get loads of light here, Chronicle Book and a lot of card bits. We'll open them up in a minute. Piece of foam protection. Oh, hang on. And a lot of loose figures. Let's take a bit of a closer look. So, looks like we've got the new plastic spider swarms. Got a bunch of them. We've got some slightly bigger spiders. There we go. So you can get the glare off that. That's pretty nice. Resin, quite thick bases. We'll take a look at them in a minute. That's Aragog's legs. We've got, oh hang on, let's focus here. Not focusing. Come on, focus. There we go. There we go. He's rather nice actually. Filch model. We've got a whole chunk of bits here. That's going to be an Aragog bit. We've got neck. Look at the size of that base. That's going to be one big basilisk. So we've got a whole bunch of basilisk pieces. That must be Aragog's base. That's going to have to be, I think that's probably the basilisk space. What else we got in here? Who's this? Over here we've got, I think that's going to be, what else have we got in here? We've got Filch, we've got Creedy, I forgot what his name, Colin Creedy. There we go. Pretty reasonable. We've got a Tom Riddle. Must have some more parts here. So I'm quite disappointed that this is all just thrown in here. Got a Dobby with a sock. It's making kind of finding all the bits a little difficult. We've got some wings for Forks there. I haven't yet seen the rest of Forks. What's over here? That's well, that is a moaning. That's a moaning myrtle. That might be the next bit of. That's a It's not a miscast. That's a head. That's a Forks. That's the back of its. I'm looking at the wrong way round. That's why that was its ears. Look at it. Come on. Come out and then go back in. Come on, focus on this. No, this. There we go. That's Forks. His beak's on this side. You can see a bit better against my finger. Ears on that side, and his wings are over here. We've got, that's Myrtle's head, so we've got Myrtle in there. Got a bunch of cards. We'll open those up in a minute. Got a big pack over here. Aren't coming out. Hang on. There we go. Don't recognise that symbol on the back. These appear to be your game one scenario points. Don't know what these are. We'll have a look at those in a minute. Anything else in here? Oh, we've got some more of these larger spiders. So we've got a bunch of spider swarms, some larger spiders, some actual acromantulas finally, and Aragog. So it looks like quite a lot of figures. Oh, hang on. That's a sorting hat. Didn't know that was supposed to be in here. Awesome. So I'll sit down. I'll open up some of the bags and bits, and we'll take a look at what's inside. We have here the pack of card and books and things. So first of all, we've got the Chamber of Secrets Chronicle Box book. It's a really nice matte finish. We'll see if it's any better laid out than the main rulebook. Instructions, bits about the Chamber of Secrets, random items, retaining random items. Lots of lovely full colour artwork in this. Really nice clear picture scenario points. Ooh, new resource. There we go. Sorry, I'm shaking a little bit there. Let's try and stop shaking so much. Randomising, chronicle scenarios. A lot more about new card decks and things. Student markers. Oh, Dobby. Dobby is a special way. He appears in the Chronicle book. He only appears in scenarios that include Harry Potter and in Infiltration. Oh, cool. So Dobby's got some new stuff in here. Got a lovely picture of Filch there. And then we're back into the scenarios. So it looks like it's using some of the boards from the original box. The car overlay. More original box plus. Is that one of the common rooms? Yeah, original boxes, more original boxes. That's, I'm not sure, that's another common room or office of some sort. But, oh, a lot of scenarios. Oh, that's one of the new boards. It should be in this box. Forbidden Forest. Another Forbidden Forest. Now that's a big map. Look at the size of that. That's the card, 6 spaces. I've got these. Oh, that's another nice map. Area of Slytherin. That's his Chamber of Secrets scenario. Quite small deployment zones. That's cool. Battle of Basilisk. That's good. Duel scenarios. Well, that's interesting. So, following a design to use with duel mode as described in the Harry Potter miniature adventure games, that means these might be tournament legal battle reports, battle scenarios. So possibly I'll have to check. We've got some tournaments coming up over the UK in the next couple of months. There's one down in Cheltenham. There's one in London. I believe there's also one in Yorkshire. It's Leodis Games. I think that's the one I'll be going to. There we go, Crash Ambush. So loads of really good scenarios there. A lovely Myrtle. I've not seen Myrtle's. Oh, there it is. Yes, I have seen Myrtle's stone kind of wash space and thing. Some more adverts. Very nice Tom Riddle there. And that's the book. Lovely Slytherin back. So that looks really nice. A little bit of damage to the front cover, but nothing major. New boards. Now these, I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera. This is the new style board that comes with the 2nd edition game. Rather than just being printed and folded, it looks like it's folded first and then they've put a printed layer over the top. It's really nice and matte. They look much, much better than the boards that came in the original version 1 box. Got some big cards there. I'll do some zooms on the cards in a bit so you can see all the skills and stuff. So I'll just pop them out of the way for a minute. That's the Chamber of Secrets door, double-sided. Here's one of the offices. New tokens. Again, look at that. This is like we've actually learned a really good lesson here. The new card is much, much better. I'm not sure you can see how thick it is, but these are really nice thick card overlays, not like the very thin ones from the original rules. We've got some more power tokens, some more wound tokens. Objective tokens. I think these are for the students in one of the scenarios. Hagrid, Aragog. Absolutely no idea what these two are. And some nice overlays here. So these are bookcases. Looks like potion tables, chests. One of the fonts from the student bathrooms, and Whomping Willow in the car. That is really nice. Not sure what. I don't remember the dinosaur skull. Oh, oh, it's a basilisk. It's a dead basilisk. There you go. So I'll pop that out of the way as well. It's just a sheet of card. And oh wow, I'm going to zoom back up here. That is my God, that's a big board. That's huge. It doubles out that way and doubles out. Hang on a second. Have I missed one? Oh, it goes that way. I missed one. There we go. You will not believe how big that board is. Whoa. Hang on. if you give me one moment, I'm going to grab one of the original boards and you'll see how big this is. So I've just grabbed one of my original boards from my first edition core set. This is it. That is one board. Now most of the scenarios in the core rules require 3 of these. But if you look at this, 1, 2, 3, so that's bigger than the 3 of the boards that you'd normally use in most of the scenarios in the core rules. So that is a huge gaming space. Should make some really interesting games considering how slow a lot of the movement is with just 3 points of movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 squares across there. That's a big board. It's really nice. Let's zoom on some of the details. And then you've got the area where the basilisk appears in the film, where Harry fights it. Wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. And again, it's this new folded material. I am almost tempted, just for the quality of these boards, to pick up a second edition set of rules now. Oh, and of course, it means the forest is on the same board. Bear with me. It's one-handed. Try not to damage my nice new board. There we go. And that's your Forbidden Forest. Now, I'm a little less excited by this. It has the kind of same generic feel that the forest in the Forbidden Forest tiles in the first game have. You can see them here. Hang on. That's, again, it was just quite a generic blotchy forest with bits of stuff over it. You can see from this board, that's the original set boards. They're just literally cut card. And these have these lovely taped edges. So much better. These take a real battering, especially around the corners in the tin. It's actually one of the better ones of mine. And obviously I'm a bit concerned about this centre fold on my boards. These don't seem to have any of those problems. This is really nicely cut down there. The fold line is pretty sharp. Again, it's still got an exposed edge, but you're always going to get that on the board. We'll have a look at some of the details. You've got a lot of spiders, webs. So it's certainly more detailed than the first edition board. I think it's just a little, I don't know, not sure I like the colours, but hey ho, can't like everything. I say though, the chamber board is this size stunning. That's really nice. Right, let's have a look at some characters then. Oh, I've just ripped my board. That's a great start. This is why you don't do this one-handed. So here we have Aragog. We've actually should have 2 Aragogs. There's the other one. So I'll do the non-scenario one. So 14 points, 2 defense, armor 1, beast, fast, scout, huge. Middle moment, acromancy in its sphere within 2 spaces, so he can shirk wounds off to other people. Target the model with this strength you can manage one. That's really good. So you can shirk wounds onto other people. King of Arachnids, friendly acromantulas gain a stealth trait. You can know limitation on the number of models when organising your group for Wizarding War games. Oh, what's I'll have to go and look at the Wizarding War rules. I can't remember what the group limitations are. I didn't realise there was one. So he's got 2 attacks, poisonous bite, bonus 3, damage 2, range 3. That's good. He's fast as well, so he's going to be 5 movement a turn. 3 bonus, 2 damage, 3 range, 3 range poisonous bite. That's odd. Gets poison 2, webbing, bonus 2, range 3, causes petrified. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, they're nice. He's really good. Second large model we've got is of course the basilisk. So let's have a look at this. Armor 1, fast, huge, scout, magic resistance, beast, basilisk again. Takes 2 cadavers to kill him. He's immune to petrified. Oh, he's going to cause some upsets. Only 2 defense, so he's not that tough, but he is huge, so he's got a lot of damage he can take. Basilisk Gaze, bonus 2, no damage, range 3, causes petrified. If the total number of successes of the attack roll is at least double the target's total successes, the target model is removed from the game. Oh, it's almost a built-in Adava Cadaver. That's the bonus 2. So you're looking at getting up to 5 successes with that. Potentially more if you boost him with some of the adventure card deck. That's good. Poisonous Bite, bonus 2, damage 2, range 1, poison 3. Ooh. These guys are going to hurt. Right, I'll be back in a moment when I'm going to open up the smaller card pack for the other characters. Right, I've got the card decks opened up. So we've got 3 lots of cards. We've got the character cards. We'll have a look at them in a second. Got a bunch of new spell cards. All new spell. Some existing ones, some new ones. That's really, really good. So we'll have a look at it in a minute. Potion cards. We've got item cards. And we've got this new deck, which, based on the text of these, I think these are all some sort of scenario card. So pop these out of the way for the minute. And we'll take a look at some of the cards in here. Got Moaning Myrtle. So no stats at the top. We've got just a Cunning of 1, Apprentice Fly Fast, Ravenclaw Ghost, can't cast spells, cannot suffer damage or effects, is immune to Adava Cadaver. 5 points. Oh, I see a scenario grabber. That's quite interesting. So she can depower your opponents and then move the target model 1 space. Oh, so she's got, I can see some real uses for her. She's quite an interesting character. Dirt cheap. Tom Riddle, Voldemort before he was Voldemort. So, Apprentice, Dark Arts, Dueling Slytherin, all to be expected. Can't take him with Voldemort, obviously. This model can spend an advance action to perform a move action with the Basilisk. So we can direct the Basilisk. Just comes with Stupefy, unfortunately. A lot of power, much better power than Voldy, but he doesn't come with the Dark Lord ability. 2 defense, 2 mastery. So pretty good. Colin Creevy. I'm not sure. I'm never going to use Colin Creevy in anything other than a some sort of narrative game, but there you go. So we've got 1 mastery, 1 defense, 1 cunning, Apprentice Gryffindor. Stats up here are fairly poor. Camera shot, bonus 2, range 3. If successful, suffers the push 1 effect. Marginally useful. You can push people into things. You can push them out of scenario scoring areas. Yeah, not massively enthused by that. Large Acromantula. That's going to be the same as the... Was that a large Acromantula? How many of them have got? Look here. 1, 2. Oh, there we go. So no, this is the new one. So 7-point large Acromantula. So we've got Beast, Fast, Horde, Large Scout. So we can't do objectives. It's fast, so it moves 5. It's got Horde, so you can take multiple ones of the same character. It's large, so it's going to... Oh, hang on. Sorry there. Let's zoom back in. What was I up to? Large, so he takes double amount of damage. And Scout, he can... Is that the move through impassable terrain, I think? Or is that the extra move? I'll have to check that one. It comes with Bash, bonus 2, damage 2, range 1. So you compare that to a normal Acromantula. He's doing an extra point of damage. He's got the large rule. It's 2 points. It's got an extra defense. They look, for 2 points, I think that's a pretty good upgrade. These are Acromantulas there from the core set. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So they're all in the core set. They're much the same sort of thing. Reasonable bonus, decent, not a lot of damage. Yeah, fast. So kind of good objective grabbers. Acromantula Swarms, Beast, Fast, Horde, Scout, Swarm 5. So you get 5 models for each card. You've got 2 cards here, so that's 10 models. That's pretty good. As usual, utterly useless stats. They're more of an irritant than actually going to do any damage to someone. Right, so here we go. Dobby. So Dobby's had a spell upgrade here, by the look of it. He hasn't got his usual elf cursey thing that comes in the normal Dobby card. He's the same points. That's brilliant. Cunning 3 is really, really good. Only 1 defense. Elf, Magic Immunity 1, Magic Resistance 1. Free elf. So unless you've got Hermione or Harry, you can only use him in magical creatures because he's a free elf now. If successful, so hang on. Dobby's spell, bonus 3, range 4. You can move someone 1 space. If it's cast on a friendly, you don't roll any dice. No cooldown. So essentially, you can nudge someone 1 extra square every turn. He's not casting other stuff. Interesting. He's no spellbook. So he can only have Dobby's spell. Going to be yet less useful for the for being using Petrify, Petrificus Totalis, and the elf magic ability. Right. Oh, Fawkes. I've been really looking forward to seeing Fawkes. So let's have a look at him. Mastery none, to be expected, not a spellcaster. Defense 3. That's powerful. 13 points. That's getting a bit steep. So skill traits wise, we've got Beast, Fly Fast, Magic Immunity 1, and Phoenix. So he ignores terrain, he moves extra. Magic Immunity 1's always useful. So it can basically ignore something that would remove it from the game. That's pretty cool. Okay. And Peck, that's pretty nice. Bonus 2, damage 3. That's going to hurt. Can't do it more than once a turn, but that's pretty good. So let's have a look at these. We've got Filch. I think he's exactly the same as the other Filch. I've not seen anything else. So slow 2 is quite useful, being that most characters only move 3 squares, so you can really muck up your opponent's movement. Muggle Scout. Yeah, I'll have to check the other card, but he seems much for muchness. Cheap. Produces 2 cunning, that's quite useful. Oh, another large. Oh, these are the silver cards. Yeah, they're all your cards for the scenarios. They've got a little silver sickle token instead. And finally, a sorting hat. You can include a sorting hat marker in your group at a cost of 2 galleons. Before making the first activation of the game, place this marker within 8 spaces of an opponent's deployment zone. When a friendly marker spends an entire activation adjacent to this marker, draw an additional adventure card. Apply it immediately. Finally, at the end of this model's activation, an opponent can place the marker up to 3 spaces from its current position. I'm not sure why you'd ever really want to use that. It gets you an extra adventure card. It's not massively beneficial. Okay, so we're going to cover the spells next. So, Rictum Sempura, tickling spell, I think, off the top of my head. I think it only currently comes on Moody's card. I've not seen another one, but I've only got about 60% of the cards so far. Kind of useful, reduces your target's defense by 1. Range 4, no upkeep, 1 spell to cast. Quite a long cooldown. So. Obliviates from the core sets. Wingardia Leviosa. You can move quest markers around. Finite Incantum, always useful to have more. Expelliarmus, I don't think I've ever seen anyone cast it. Alatra Ascendra, a spell I really like because it does 2 damage and it's got a range of 5. Low difficulty, slowish cooldown. I think it's a really good spell because it only costs 1 galleon. Cistern Apero. Combat spell. This model can interact with a random item overlay in range instead of... This model can interact with a random item overlay in range instead of an adjacent spell. Combat spell. Difficulty 3. Okay. Not quite sure what that means. I'm going to have to go and check the rules as to what interact and random item overlays actually means. I presume that's very scenario focused. Apero is make something appear spell. I don't know why it's a combat spell, which means that can be counterspelled or defended against. Not defended against, but you can roll a defense. So I'm not sure why it's got such a high difficulty. That's a bit weird. Ooh, this is a new one. How to kill spiders. Or this might be turning up at tournaments because it will one-shot all your little spiders. Combat spell, target model Aragog or Acromantula suffers 3 damage, 1.1 power, 2 cooldown. Vipera Evescana, remove a snake marker in late range. I wonder if we've got a create a snake marker. I'm presuming that's very scenario focused still. I'm going to switch hands. My hands hurting from holding the camera. Fortunately, my new camera stand hasn't turned up yet. I can't even spell that. Target model performs a move action using the random movement rules. Cooldown 1, 2 power. Could be useful. Serpent Sortier. Place a snake marker in range. The snake marker inflicts poison 1 to any enemy model that ends its move action within 2. That's brutal. That's brutal. Difficulty 4, non-combat spell. Range of 3. That's really awesome. Area denial. You chuck a load of these round objectives and just let your opponent have to come in and deal with them. It's only cooldown 1, so in a 6-turn game, you should be able to get it off 3 times if you're quick. Especially if you put it on someone who can move out a little bit, so you can get 6 to 8 squares into the board with someone who's fast. That's really good. Oh, there's a lot of new stuff in here. Brachium Amendo. Target model heals 1 damage level. If spell fails, suffers 1 damage instead. That's a bit like a weak Pesky. Veraverto. Target model with both beast and small suffers petrify. So it only causes on 1 model. It has 0 cooldown. Right the way around. Petrify a lot of small things. Sluggius Erecto. I think this is the one that's the slug vomiting spell, isn't it? Or something like that. Combat spell. Target model cannot move until the end of its next activation. So if you get that off early in a turn, you can potentially stop someone moving for 2 turns. That's pretty powerful, again, for especially in tournament play, to just control your opponent. There's a lot of really interesting new spells in here. Really interesting ones. Immobilus, strangely enough, it immobilizes people. All enemy read that again. All enemy models in range suffer the slow 2 effect. So slow 1 effect. Add 2 difficulty to inflict slow 2 instead. So you can remove 1 movement from anyone within range 3 of you. That's pretty cool. You make it difficulty 5 and do slow 2. So bear in mind this is a combat spell, so you're not losing any dice when you use it. You're not dueling at that point because you're not casting on someone else. I need to check the dueling rules for that. Yeah. Some interesting spells. Opens up a whole host of possibilities for the game there. Right, okay, so we've got some... Oh, we've got to do the potions. There we go. There's not many of these. So, potions. Mandrake, Restorative Draft, remove Petrified target. So that's a level 1 rare. That's the same as the Anti-Paralysis potion, so I'm not quite sure what that does. I'll have to check any differences. Sleeping Draft, forfeit next activation. That's quite useful, range 3. Just the irritating thing about potions in the game when you're playing against them is you cannot stop them. There's very, very few things that buff defense against things like physical attacks. There's loads of ways to buff your magical abilities and to buff your spell casting, number of automatic successes you get when casting. Very difficult to change your defense against physical things like potions being thrown at you. So range 3, target model forfeits its next activation. Skelly Grow. Target must forfeit its next activation, remove all damage markers on it. So your model loses its next go, but he gets fully healed. Just imagine casting that on someone like Hagrid or one of your big models to get them back in the game. That could be brutal. Loses a turn for it. Don't know, very useful. And Polyjuice. I think we've seen a Polyjuice elsewhere. So concealment 12 until it performs any attacks. So you just can do one around the game. That's really good. Okay, and we've got finally. These are item cards, aren't they? So this model may take a free spell of up to 2 galleons and gains +2 successes when casting Obliviate. Oh, so this is a straight buff for Gilderoy Lockhart. That's hilarious. That's so worth taking just for the giggle of having Lockhart. But that's really good for Obliviate's quite a useful spell. And he gets an extra spell for free up to 2. Phoenix Tears, discard a card at any time, remove 1 effect marker from this model, heal up to 2 damage levels. You've got to have a Phoenix in your team for that. Mrs. Norris, Albus Filch, knows the slot rules. Each time the model ends a move activation, place Mrs. Norris marker within 3. I need a cat now. I have to buy myself a small cat. So again, it's another control item. So you're reducing the number of move points that another character has. That's quite useful. Nimbus 2001. That's a broomstick. Model with this card performs a movement action. It can move 1 additional space or 2 if it spends an advanced action. But you need a broomstick trait. I wonder if we're going to see some more models with broomsticks soon. That'd be cool. Howler. Model with apprentice trait only. This model suffers -1 to all rolls in any round after the first. Discarded to gain a power, reduce the power cost of a spell by 1 or gain +2 to the challenge. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Ooh, that is a new wand. So -1. That's so Ron. However, when this model fails a casting for a combat spell, the spell is immediately resolved with this model as the target. That's just very Ron. I'd have liked to have seen things go a bit right for him as well. Ron's wand is broken fairly early doors, so it would have been nice to see him have if you succeed or if you roll 3 successes, 3 symbols, do something cool. Who powder. Opponent and player jokes are able to space in 3 squares of it. Starting activations, this model can be placed in the space posed by the opponent. Interesting. 3 points, not going to see much use. Mandrake. For the rest of the models suffer -2, making 2 squares. So you can, that's a Pomona Sprout buff. 2 points. Yeah. Makes Mandrakes howl. Tom Riddler's Diary. It's another Horcrux. I think we've seen the Horcruxes before. Basilisk Fang. Another physical attack. They're always really useful. Bonus 2, damage 2, range 1, poison 2 effect, 2 points. Why would you take some of the other items over this then? So you've got things like a sword or 2 knives for the same price. That's just so much better. And this has been spoiled online already. Though in Spanish, I believe. Sword of Gryffindor. Special. Choose damage types, physical or magical, each time it is used. You can only use by models with Gryffindor trait. Bonus 3, damage 3. That's just brutal. Brutal. Now I'm going to have to go and check whether there's any Gryffindor models with the fast attack trait. I don't think there are. It's not called fast attack, it's called something else, but it allows you to attack do an attack action as a free action, but we'll have to see. But even once a turn, that's just brutal. Right, so that's all the extra cards. We're going to have a quick look at the models now. Right, so I've just pulled everything out of the box. I've left a couple of bases and bits and pieces in the box, but this is all the models you get with the set. So we have, zooming in down here, we've got 10 of these new Acromantula swarms. So this is a change from the ones that were in the original version 1 core. These are actually plastic. They're a bit more rounder. but look like they've lost some of the undercuts the previous set had. Tom Riddle in 3-4 parts. Looks like a pretty crisp cast so far. Can't see anything on him there that would suggest he's miscast. I've got to say this so far does look like a much better quality than some of the Knight's other releases. Got Money Myrtle, so you've got a basin, got a head, both arms, and the body again. No, I think we're pretty good. I can't see any miscasting on there. Can't really see that. I'll have to nudge the camera every now and again. Try and get it back into focus. Let's have a look at Filch. One of my least liked things about Knight models is that you can just see it under his chin there. This little wedge they stick under the chin. It's really frustrating from a modelling perspective to try and get rid of that. But again, looks, looking at the bottom of the coat and stuff, it looks really well cast. Teeny little Colin Creevy. Let's try and focus on him. There we go. He's got his little camera here. He's a teeny model, little model. Aragog. So Aragog's in separate legs. There's also a base for him, a bit of a scenic base with a tree on it so he can clamber over it. It's really good. It looks like these legs just stick into the sockets here, so it shouldn't be overly difficult to put them together. Got some up underneath. I'm not sure it's going to look the best, but yeah, it seems a reasonable way of solving that. Folks you saw earlier after I mistook it for someone else. Really good, really nice crisp cast. Looking forward to painting all that fire. I do like painting fire. I'm one of those oddities. Looks like I might have a slight miscast there, but I reckon a bit of a knife and a clean up and I could probably solve that out. Needs his beak cleaning out a little bit. It's pretty good. Next we have the new large Acromantulas. They just come in 3 pieces. Looks like these 2 legs just sit together like that, and the body, the body sits on top of that, and they come each with one of these bases which has really nice spindly legged spiders on them. That's really nice. Okay, let's focus again. You got some more of these normal Acromantulas from that came in the core game, and of course, I've missed a model out. Okay, we'll do other model first. There we go. Little Dobby with a sock. Here he is. Come on, zoom on Dobby's face. Does not want to zoom on Dobby. Hang on. Just try and move. There we go. Right, there's a little Dobby with a sock in his hand. You can just about see it there. There you go. Pretty clean cast. These are tiny little figures. They are, interestingly, a little wobbly. Looks like this is all Knight's new resin that they've started rolling out. It doesn't feel quite as hard as the previous resin. The resin they use for most of their figures is really hard. It holds the detail really well, but it snaps really easily. Finally, we've got your Basilisk. Basilisk in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, plus this weird little base thing that sits on top of the big base. 2 parts of the head. Now this is just gorgeous. Let me see if we can get a... There we go. Look at that. He's mean. Really nice. Someone commented online that looks like the detail's a bit soft. I don't think it is. I think it's really sharp here. You can see that's really sharp detail. Let's go zoom on his body a little bit. There you go. Really nicely detailed. Really big chunky piece of resin this. So there you have it. That is the whole of the new Chronicle box from Knight Models. It's quite a much longer video. It was going to be like a 15-minute video, and it's I think we're probably at least half an hour there, if not nearly an hour. Yeah, that's 100 and about 115 hours, £15, 100 and, yeah, something like that. And obviously you can get it a little cheaper from one of your local gaming shops or online stores. I think that's, for the price, it's really good value. You compare it to the core set. There's a lot of resin here. The boards are much better quality. The books, nice big books. So the core book is about half that size. You've got some of these nice new big cards. You've got a lot of very cool new spells and items in there. I think there's going to be some really interesting tournament play over the next few months, with a lot of these kind of control and area spells that allow you to manipulate movement. New counters are absolutely, without a doubt, a million times better than the ones that came in the original core. So there you go. Take from that what you will. It was great having you here. Hopefully I'm going to do some video recorded games. I've got those boards as well. Recorded games of Harry Potter shortly. I've just got to convince either Charlie or my wife to play and be videoed playing it. So that's great. Thanks for joining us. I shall see you again another time. Just a quick additional comment here about some of the markers. I've just popped my markers out of the cardboard, and unfortunately not all of them were punched. So quick word of warning, guys, if you're punching your markers out, just make sure you've got a little Stanley knife or a craft knife to hand. You may need to score them a little bit. That's a little disappointing. Looks like it's only really these two, and I think I did one of the spell turning counters as well, so not a massive problem, just a little irritating. Hey ho.